You're live.
Hello, everyone. Namaste. Look at the people that are already talking about where they're from. Yay, heart. So I'm kind of glowing, and we don't know why. Dana came up and put her face on my camera, and she's fine. We've turned off lights, we've messed around. So this is why we were a few minutes late. But yeah, I'm glowing. So there's no matter what I do, there's something with the light. So
It's your
um,
aura. Your
it's my
aura
voice.
is
I'm like,
very
so I
bright.
look a little ghostly today. I do have some makeup on and stuff, so I don't know what this is about. Technology is best. It's probably your loved ones messing with it. So some from Quebec, Australia. Oh my goodness, I love that. Big Bear Lake, California. Love that place. Palm Desert. I love Palm Desert. Spokane, Wisconsin. You guys just know what to do. Nothing wrong with a little glow. Thank you, Courtney. Yeah, it's like really odd. Um, so we had a bunch of other lights on, and it's just like shining brightly. I'm the sun, I guess, whatever it is. But anyway, we're glad everyone's here joining us. So we'll give it a few minutes before I start. I do have a topic. I pulled a card, so we're going to kind of cover that because we want to make sure everyone gets a message today. And if this is your first time here, we want just to like to know where you're from. I will be doing a couple readings. Dana, which is my wife that is managing all this, she'll come on here. Some of you guys already know her. She'll randomly pick, but we love questions as well. I see Indiana. I lived in Indiana for about a year. Carmel, Indiana, if you know where that is. So, with that said, I'm going to talk about the card I pulled was Truth and Integrity. And then I thought, I wonder why. And then I opened up the book, and because there's always little books that come with these, the oracle cards that you may have. And it opened up right to Truth and Integrity. So, it definitely is probably a message for some people to hear. So, I will go into that. So, I know some of you are asking for readings. I will do readings, but not right in the beginning. Dana, did you have something you want to share? There's Miss Dana.
Hello, everybody. I was just going to say, yeah, you always do these spirit guided messages, so that fits, right?
Yeah. So, as you guys come on, we love seeing everybody join us and let us know where you're from. Thank you so much. There's a lot here in Colorado. Woo woo. And with that said, the card I pulled out of a oracle deck, Healing with the Angels, which you can't get these anymore. Truth and Integrity. This must be about, I think this is one of my very first decks. I probably have over 50 that I use for teaching, for people to use to play with. In readings, I don't use cards. I just use cards for fun, sort of when I need to check in with myself. Maybe I've got something going on and I'm in my ego, my left brain. I can't connect with my own guides because I can't get in my way. So cards are a great way to sort of start the dialogue in your head, come from your heart. But Truth and Integrity, when I read the book, but I also looked at this intuitively, is there's so many times that I call it the archetype prostitute, where we act as if we pretend our life is okay, that our jobs, our relationships, our health, just different things in our life that we're doing. And are you being honest with yourself? This isn't about being honest with other people. Maybe it comes to that, but are you being honest with yourself? Are you looking within? Are you showing up authentically for yourself? Are you questioning certain situations? So if you're unhappy with aspects of your life or parts of your life, how are you showing up to be able to create a life you want? So when we want to manifest, we want to connect with our loved ones, we want to hear from our guides. If we have all this clutter in our life that doesn't align with who we are, then you're not going to get the answers. You're not going to be able to make those connections. So the more you can be honest with yourself, and it doesn't mean that you tell people honestly what you think of them. What this is honestly, are the choices that you're making, are they to prove to others? Is it what it looks like? You're worried about judgment, how people are going to respond to things. We worry about what other people think. What would they think if I did this? I remember I went through this when I realized that I was a medium. And when you weigh certain parts of your life, you look at, well, what is my family going to say? What are these people going to think? And now with social media, there's always people's opinions. But for me, I knew that this ended up being a calling, and that helping people connect with their loved ones and getting guidance in their life was definitely something I wanted to do. That was my truth. It doesn't mean everyone's going to agree. And the judgment that comes from it, and the abandonment, and all of the different things that are showing up because we make certain choices in our life. And so our fear is really about, are we being truthful with ourselves? Are we being truthful where we are and what we desire? And part of us, or a lot of us, we say we want things to change, but we really actually don't, because we know what we're dealing with. It's familiar with us. We know that it's what is familiar is, I know how to manage this, even if it sucks, even if it's not what I want to do or where I want to be in my life. At least I know how to respond, and I know how to manage it, and I know where things are going to fall into place. And I can not be stressful about, what if I change my life and I can't manage it? So the truth and integrity that we do is, are you truthful to yourself, and do you have the integrity to live within what you believe about yourself and what's next for yourself? And so a lot of times we know deep in our heart and in our gut, it's time for change. It's time to evolve. It's time to make the next step. But there's so much fear on, what if it doesn't turn out the way I expected? What if it's more challenging? What if I'm wrong about what I'm feeling? Well, change is important in our life path. If you believe in reincarnation, if you believe that you're here to learn, change is what we're here to do, is to change and evolve. And part of that is, as humans, we get really fearful, because what if it gets worse? So the truth is, it could get more challenging. It could be more difficult. But the power comes from the ability to change and honor, hey, this isn't working. I have to try something different than what I'm doing now. And something different might be just experiencing something different and what's uncomfortable. So many times we want other people's approval. So we're thinking about making this change, and we start asking people close to us, other, family and friends, and we do this research and we Google and say, hey, what if I choose to make this change? What do you think? Well, it's not for them. It's not their truth. It's your truth. So if you ask other people's opinions, their fears, their blocks, their whatever it is going to say probably no to you, because that's their truth is different than yours. And your intuition becomes, like I always say, the kink in the hose, because if you're not following your truth, that's your intuition. That's your guide saying, hey, you know what? It's time to make a change. It's time to make that leap of faith. So, because of our fear, and there's some probably risk involved, this is why we ask for other people's opinions. And when we do that, we start going, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't take this risk. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe what I'm thinking isn't right. And we start to question. And then everything about our intuition starts shutting down again, because we're not listening to our guides. Our guides are a direct source for each of us individually. So for somebody else, their information, their truth is going to be different than your truth. And so one of the things I teach in my class right off the bat is stay in your own lane. And the reason for that is, we want to advise people, hey, listen, I don't think you should do that. Well, maybe part of those things is to lead that person to another life or situation or opportunity that they wouldn't have had if they wouldn't have taken those steps. So anyone that knows my story, when I was married to somebody else and life was not going well, and we were financially in a really big situation that wasn't working, I started doing feng shui. And I did feng shui because I wanted change. I wanted my husband to go get that career again and get us back on our feet. Well, what it did is, it showed me that I could be a medium. I didn't know about what mediums were. And it took me on this path of realizing that I have the ability to be a medium and intuitive. And since then, my life has been transformed. That's how it takes us. It takes us in these little kind of baby steps to a place of, my truth was, and my integrity was, okay, I have this idea, this realization that I am capable of communicating with the people who have crossed over. What do I do with that? Do I ask everybody else, or do I follow my own truth? And that's where all this is about. Are you following your own truth, your own gut, your own knowing? And that's when the source, the other side, becomes more open and available for all of us to be able to have that direct access to them. But if we are asking everybody else and we're not living in our truth and we have the fear, we're scared of change and we want to control and we want to always be in the driver's seat, it's not going to unfold. We will feel stuck. We will feel in fear. We will be the victim. We don't feel like we're the leader of our life. And so it stops everything from moving forward. So for anyone that wants to know what's next and how do I connect with my guides, first of all, are you living within your truth? Are you having integrity for yourself? Or are you looking for other people's approval? Because judgment will keep us from really moving forward in our life. And so I love this card, truth and integrity. Not what we always expect, but are you being truthful with yourself so that you can move forward in so many different aspects of your life? And the other thing I get is sometimes people will say, well, I'm too old for change. I'm too this, I'm too that. Well, those are only our own mind limitations. That's telling ourselves we're unable to do things. And that's just old. That's an old story. And so, how do you find your story that can mean that you can have the ability to transform your life and maybe even help transform others? Maybe you can be an example and a leader to show others how they can change their life too. And yeah, it can be scary. There is actually not a really big map, but your compass, your intuition, your GPS, guided psychic system, doesn't steer you wrong. It's just whether if you follow it or try to control it. So if you have questions regarding your truth, you have questions about trusting your intuition, of course I want to hear them. And what does this look like, your life path? And if you have questions about how moving forward, I would love to have those questions. I love doing intuitive sessions about how do we get out of our fear. And of course, we choose to want to, also hear from our loved ones. But I think it's great to also, have questions about the topic because this means it can help you heal, shift, move forward. So the questions that you have, you can learn to answer them on your own. You all have this capability of having that intuition. It's just removing the fear, trusting yourself, learning to be honest with yourself about where you are and what's happening. So, Dana, do we have any great questions?
I was just reading through some of them. And then there's a couple of people asking for intuitive information too. So,
I love that.
oh, Marcy, one of your students who used to be your student when you first launched Solution.
Yeah, we love seeing students.
How do you know if you are living in your own integrity? She's asking.
I think there's a couple of things. One of them is, are you feeling peaceful? I think sometimes when our body is a radar to say, hey, something's wrong. We all know when our stomach isn't feeling right, we may have a headache, our shoulders, our body tenses up. We're like, something's wrong. And we see this with animals. Animals, you can see when they're on an alert and they know something's going to happen or something's around the corner, they tense up and have this alertness. So if you're feeling this constant waiting for the other shoe to drop, if you're feeling as if you're not safe, things are not going to happen the way you want, you're prepared for everything that could be negative that could happen, you're probably not living in your truth and integrity.
Yeah.
So if you start trusting, it means whatever shows up in your life, you're going to manage it. I mean, I always compare your intuition and trusting your intuition like having car insurance. Your car insurance means, hey, if something happens, I can call my agent, right? You call the insurance carrier. You don't call them before you go out and drive your car. You know that you can make a phone call if there's something that's happening. Same with your intuition. Your intuition, your guides, your soul, your heart never leads you wrong. It's your ego. Your ego questions. Your ego's like, are you sure? What about this? They start telling you that story. And that's where you want to look at, is this your ego creating fear? Or is it, yeah, that feels right. And we all know when we go, that feels right. We've all had those moments. So it's going back and feeling, yeah, this feels right.
We have someone on YouTube. His name, what is it? Teak Brad or Tekka Brad? I'm not sure. Anyway, seems like the perfect topic for all that's going on in our world rift right now.
Yeah, there's a lot. And I think that too affects us on our intuition, because there's a lot of fear in the media and a lot of fear around when people are listening to news and listening, they start bringing it into conversations, and then you become on high alert and your intuition starts pulling back. And when the intuition pulls back, it's hard to go, wait a minute, that's my fear. That's not my intuition. So how do you then get back into your intuition? That's being in nature, listening to positive things, being around people that are more positive or more aligned. So it's shifting it to know, like, when we see an animal that is being chased by a lion, and when the lion doesn't catch them, the animal, the zebra, whatever, shakes it off. They shake off the energy, the adrenaline that does this whole hypervigilant, that they're worried that something's going to happen to them, of course. And we are the same way. It's how do we shake off that negativity so we can tune back into our intuition that we feel safe.
Mm-hmm. That's always a great analogy with the animal.
Yes.
Let's see here. Another one. Elizabeth is saying, I don't know my truth or purpose and would love a spirit guide to help me recognize and understand my life situation.
Join my solution program. I teach life purpose very differently. Like, someone may think, oh, is your life purpose being a medium, a second teacher? No, it's part of my role. So whatever I do is my job. Whatever I do to make a living is not my life purpose. It is what comes with it. And I believe that we're all here to learn. So it's our challenges that are our life purpose. It's how do we respond to the challenges we have. And part of that is, are we to go along? And I'm feeling this part of it for you is doing something you're passionate about. And I think we're told through society, especially family and our culture, is it's important to find a career that makes money. I just had a session with someone yesterday. It's a student, and they don't like their job, but they do it because it pays the bills. It gives them a living. But what happens is they're not passionate, because we are told, oh, you can't make money doing that. It's really hard and it's difficult this way. There's all these limited beliefs. But how many people find passion and do what they love? And sometimes we don't know what passion is because we've cut it off. So it's how do you take these different steps to find what you're passionate about? And it just took her and I a few minutes to figure out what does she really love, and then how to develop something from that to open up an opportunity, a business, or to make some changes. So it's learning to follow your heart versus the head and the belief systems of others.
I was just going to share a comment from Autumn Marshall. She said, I'm one of Deb's OG students, class of 2003 alumni.
I remember Autumn. Hi, Autumn. It's been a while. Come back. We're teaching differently. It's a whole different program. So I would love to see you again, Miss Autumn. Great to see you.
Angela on YouTube says, so in other words, we should go with our gut feeling.
That's your intuition. I am honored to be able to be that. There's Miss Julie Knotts. I'm honored to be a teacher, an intuitive, a medium, all of those things. But I would rather teach people to trust their own intuition versus looking outside themselves. And when you look for someone outside yourself, even like me, that means sometimes you're still going to do it with when you finally get that gut decision and then go, oh, but what does other people think about what I got with my intuition? And again, your compass is different than somebody else's. I'm just laughing about my bright light here. I'm a bright light.
All you see is yourself big on the screen.
Yeah, I'm like, well, so I think we're all born with our intuition. We're all born with our radar and our truth and our integrity. And what happens over time is we collect all these different belief systems. We call it programming that we are developing from our parents and our siblings and our friends and our teachers. We start collecting all these things, and our programming says, oh, this is how it has to be. This is how it has to look. And so we shift out of our intuition, our truth, and we cut our truth out. And sometimes it's like, wait a minute, things aren't going the way I want. My programming, my dialogue in my head, I feel empty. I feel lost. I'm not watching and doing what I want to do. But what is that? Because it's been cut off for so long. So it's going back to your beginning of your programming and rewiring that programming to say, oh, this is my truth. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm here to learn. And that can be really difficult.
But that's what you do through your solution mentoring or coaching program. So it's fantastic if anyone wants to check it out. It starts again in September. It
Yes.
opens up for men and women, two separate groups in September. So
Yes.
just a little FYI and a plug.
Well, part of it is, I spend every week with you. You get a lot of direction. You get a new footprint in your life. You get to re-look at how you are thinking in your life. And you realize the stuff in the stuff that you believe, it's not about changing your belief to mind. It's changing your belief to work for you, to become aligned.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how you do what you need from everyone to do readings?
Yeah. So if this is your first time on here, I use all my senses, including the bright light. And I hear, see, taste, and smell. Of course, this is a very quick, maybe a minute to 2 minute maximum reading. And when I tune into the question of, am I on life path, I'm still working with your guides. But on this is communicating with those who have crossed. They will identify themselves, maybe personality traits, how they cross, things that's happened since their death, so they're around. And it's real quick here. So what I asked for in this type of a situation is the name of the person and how they're connected. And if it's a child or someone in that generation, niece, nephew, friend of your child's friend, things like that, is their age. It just helps me connect faster. In a private session, I do not ask for that information, just in this to get to really connect, because we have a lot of people on board here. But if you've seen me before, I get it really quick. I talk really fast, so take your notes.
Okay. So like she said, first name of your loved one, how they're connected. And if it's that child's generation, she would like their age.
Someone was asking here, as you go to pick, what's my life path? I teach a whole class on it's called Soul's Contracts, and it's 2 days, like 16 hours worth. So it's not a quick question, but to me, it's always about what you're here to learn, and whatever your struggle is, that's part of your purpose, is to bring enlightenment to whatever that struggle is. So our life path is to figure out how to heal our suffering, how to love ourselves, those kind of things. So it's not so much the job that we're in, or being single or married, those kind of things.
I'm just going to take one of the last ones entered. Kelly Bressy is asking for her son, Josh, who is 22.
Okay. Kelly, anytime anyone loses a child, we're not on a human level or any level, we're not designed to lose our children. So I'm so sorry. Matter of fact, I've even done some shows around this. And I'm also involved with Helping Parents Heal, which is an organization that supports parents with the idea of mediums, and mediums are vetted through their program, and I'm one of them. But just the first thing I got is a big smile on my face. Like, this is, I just get this at one time, just happy, big smile, just radiant, like he could fill the room up, and big heart. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of kindness from him. And I get, this is a guy that could either give good hugs, or you just wanted to hug him. You just wanted to pull him in. And I feel like his passing feels more unexpected. So I don't feel like this is a cancer of some sort. So something happened to him unexpectedly. He's telling me that he's doing this, that he does talk to you. So this is to validate if you're hearing him or you're having dreams about him. I'm assuming, and this was what happens a lot with parents, is that you want to have signs all the time. And he's just like, Mom, kind of that kind of energy of saying, I am there. I am with you. And this also, I'm getting that you have a space in your home. Feels like to me probably kind of an altar where you walk by, you talk to him. It might be a photo, maybe his urn, maybe things about him. And he's showing me awards. So this could have been trophies that you also have out, or something he was proud of. But I feel like there's these trophies about feeling very proud. I'm getting something hit from him behind, or something from behind. So this could be a metaphor, but it feels more of a unexpected kind of passing for you or for him. And just, yeah, and I'm having trouble breathing with him as well. Again, I'm so sorry, Kelly, for your loss of your son. And if you want to, if you're comfortable, put information on here if there's any validation there.
Yeah, validation can be helpful sometimes. There's so many people on. And I'm just grabbing another one just because the name stood out to me. Alicia Morissette Edwards, her son, Devin, spelled exactly the way I spell my son's name, Devon. He was 32 when he passed.
Okay. This could be, again, I'm going to go into what I just said with Kelly. I'm just so sorry for your loss. We're not designed again to bury our children. But Devin says it's not just him, that you either lost another child or there's someone else around him. So it could have been a friend or a cousin or someone else that's with him that's passed. He also has shown me a larger dark dog. So this could be, a lab or a shepherd, something to that size. So this could be a dog from your childhood, dad's childhood, or his, but it doesn't have to be recent. People always go, it wasn't recent. He just showed me this big dog. He's also telling me there was just a lot of anger. And this could be anger with his death, like you're having anger, or he was angry before he passed. And he's showing me something about, it feels like the belief system. So it could be angry at God, angry at society, angry at the situation. And it's really important for him to tell you he's at peace. So whatever anger has been going on here or before he passed, he says, I'm at peace. He has shown me an older female with him. Feels like a grandmother. So if it's not your mother or his paternal grandmother, it could be a great grandmother. So it'd be your grandmother, but he's there with this grandmother. And she feels a little stocky built, almost like a strong matriarch. This is a really strong woman. So he's letting you know, again, he's not by himself. He is there with others. And he's given me the heart, which shows me too, his mom, like, I really love you. This is a really big heart connection. But he says it's really important for the healing, because the anger, it doesn't stop him from trying to make a connection. And since I'm coughing, there may be something around that. I think it's more about something around breathing, but I think will help you take that kink that we were talking about earlier, or I was talking about earlier. If there's anger, sometimes it's harder to make that connection. So a medium doesn't have the history, the story behind it. So it's easier for someone like myself. But Alicia, he's saying that will help you make the connection. So hopefully that will make some sense. Let us know for sure.
Caitlyn Bronson, she's asked a few times to connect with her mom, Trish. I guess Trish was a big fan of yours. So just wanted to...
maybe it's her, the coughing and the breathing. So maybe, and without validation, I maybe it was her trying to show up, because I kept getting this coughing. So if it's not Devin, it could be someone around Trish having trouble breathing before she passed. And I know it was like, no one can breathe before they die, right? But something with the coughing, it could be COVID, but it could also be a lung, COPD, something with this, and pneumonia that was causing this. So that could be part of what she's showing up. And I also feel this humor around Trish, a sense of looking at life in many multiple ways. And I also feel like maybe Trish was raised very conventionally, so maybe very Catholic or very much of a religious person. But as time went on, what I'm getting here is her perspective began to open and change. And also, I feel like Trish may have had some abilities, like she maybe could feel spirits around, maybe didn't do anything with it. It was like, oh, there's someone in this house, it's kind of haunted. So she's laughing about that. She's also showing me either 2 services or something about the 2. And this is around after her passing, sort of what happened. And I feel like people knew she was crossing, but I'm feeling like not everyone realized at that time or didn't get to go say goodbye. She was, leave it alone, don't worry about it. So very much about letting go of what we hold on to, the guilt that we hold on to before someone passes. She was, don't go there.
So I'm getting a couple of different people responding to the reading, and Caitlyn is saying, yes, she was Catholic. She loved her angels, would say that. So she's validating everything. She had 2, I had twins, she said. And she also said she had COVID and pneumonia.
Okay, that was the cough. I think she was trying to push Devin out. Probably coming through.
But then Autumn also said, could be her, you're probably connect because you connect with more than one.
Mhm.
It sometimes will go along the same souls connect at this, at the same time with similar things. So the messages are always meant for more than one person. But Autumn is saying her mom, Mickey, passed last week and she had COPD and she feels like her mom's energy is coming through as well.
Okay. Yeah. So, this is really quick. We just get through this really quick. And I mean, we do the whole thing in, 30 minutes. So part of it is they're over there going, hey, can we both come through at the same time and say hi? Yeah, let's both do it. Yeah, let's just tell our loved ones. And it saves everybody that whole hello thing. And I think that's beautiful. I think it's so great when they're over there organizing it. And so it's probably what the light is so bright. I have one light on in my office, well, two, small one over here, facing the wall, not even facing me. The draperies are pulled, and for whatever reason, I'm glowing in the dark. Right.
Caitlyn said her mom would be pushy, that she loved you. So
Okay. Good. Well, I love that.
yeah,
And Josh and Devin's moms, do they say anything?
they were confirming all the details.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. The big thing today for everybody is truth and integrity. And it's really everyone wants to hear from their loved ones. Everyone wants to get direction. You have it in you. So I'm not just throwing stuff out there. I'm really telling you, it's about connecting inside to be able to use your own wiring, your own radar to be able to connect, because you have it in you. And the more you're honest with yourself, the more that you truthful with yourself, the more that can expand. And this is all about expansion. And please think about the solution program. If you want to know more about it, reach out to Dana. I don't know if is it posted on our website?
Yeah, you can get on the wait list right now.
Yeah.
And I also want to share, you have every month you do a small group reading, which is limited to 8 people. July is sold out. It's 8 people that sit with you and get 2 hours of your time. And I wanted to mention real quick that there are 2 seats left for August's small group. So jump on the website under events. You guys can check that out if you want to have a little bit of time with Deb in August. Otherwise, she books her sessions book out a few months in advance, which you could still get a private session with her as of right now too. But it's like November, I think, or December.
It's 2 years of therapy. Yeah. So it's enjoyable to have everyone here. Thank you again. We'll be on hopefully next Wednesday at 11:11. And I just want to tell everyone thank you. You supporting everybody here and those kind of things helps everybody with the healing, like having these moms come through at the same time. I'm wondering if Josh and Devin kind of crossed around. There's some similarities there that you picked up. But thank you, everyone. We want to say namaste and be safe and take care of yourself and live in your truth and integrity.